Bill?
You may by Manning CLNS Media. A lot of talk after game one of how well you guys shot. Is that sustainable? Things like that. And I remember earlier in the year when you guys weren't shooting as well, you were looking at your shot quality and saying, we expect to shoot better than this. Just how do you kind of come out of a game like that, assessing how you shot, whether or not you're hitting a ton of shots or missing a ton of open shots?
I think it's more about making the right play and the right read. And, we took 41, but 38 were open to wide open. So we're drawing, kicking, making the correct pass. Only took 3 contested threes, and that's the shot quality you talk about. And the right guys are taking the shots and passing up good ones for great ones. So we pump fake, drove the closeout, got easier shots for everybody else or layups at the basket. And so what I talked about earlier was guys were shooting it poorly to start the season, but we felt they'd get back to their career numbers, averages, and we've done that.
Mark Spears, ESPN's Anscape. Coach, I want to ask you about the hiring of Damon Stoudemire. I know you guys go back. How did that come about, and what has he meant to your coaching staff this season?
Yeah, I think in general, the staff has a heavy Portland influence. Guys I grew up with or were younger than me, and we've kind of all stuck together and followed each other's careers basketball-wise. And Damon was obviously, other than AC Green and Terrell Brandon, one of the guys in my generation we all looked up to. And so I've known him since I was in middle school. And so our relationship goes back, and we all knew each other, but we all have kind of gone on our own path. Aaron Miles being here, Ben Sullivan with Milwaukee, and then Damon in college and in Memphis in the pros. So something we all discussed, possibly if ever the opportunity to work with people you're familiar with. Me getting hired and going straight to the Olympics, I kind of expedited the process of getting to know his staff by having relationships with a lot of those guys. And so I understand what he's about. Tasked with getting with Marcus and showing him the ropes of being a point guard, a guy who's been there, done that. And I think that was a valuable asset to my hires, was relationship building and relatability. And I think he's a big part of that.
Next question on the left.
Hello, Ime. How are you?
Hello.
I know during the playoffs and after big wins, you've probably been asked this ad nauseum, but not fumbling the bag after a big game. Is that even something that you even bring up to the team about handling prosperity and making sure you keep that foot on the gas?
Yeah, we've talked about it because at times this postseason, we've played desperate after losses, and we want to have the same mentality after a win, keep the same edge. And so we look at things we could have done a lot better in that game. Played solid overall, and they went on a run, we went on a run, but there were things we could have done to be in a better position, especially in that third quarter. And so for us, it's game by game. We got the first one now. Time to be greedy and go for 2.
Home in the middle.
Ime, Young Masagi, ESPN. What does it mean to you to wear that shirt? And also, did you see Greg Popovich kind of deliver a speech in Texas supporting the Uvalde victims?
No, I did not see Pop's speech, but I know how passionate he is about a lot of these issues. And so for me, it's really something I spoke about after the Miami game. We play a game that, is you win, you're elated, you feel great about it, you lose, you're devastated for the moment, but it's not life or death. You still go on. And so the awareness is really about things that are continuing to happen in our communities, and they're devastated by it. Their families are devastated, and we kind of go on with our normal life and business. And so just to continue to keep those thoughts in mind, and those people are struggling, and it continues to happen. So awareness and change needs to be made, and we're all on the same page as far as that.
Next one on the left.
I know you said Rob's really just going to be kind of day-to-day throughout this series. Is he, do you get a sense, is he showing improvement? And is it something where you anticipate as things go on, if he continues, that he might, ramp up playing time a little more? Or do you feel like it's going to be kind of in this range he's been in?
A little bit of both. I think the improvement is with the days off, the 3 days after Miami and the 2 days in between games has been beneficial. We spoke about playing all those every other day for 17 days straight. And so this break has been beneficial for him. Part of it is keeping him in that 20 to 25 minute range. We've kept him pretty much around 20. I think that's beneficial. So if possible, we'd like to keep him there. But if the game dictates, we can obviously play him more and deal with the residual effect later. But I think the low minutes of days off, 2 days in between, has gotten him feeling better, and you can see a little more pop in this step last game.
Tim in the back.
Ime, Masai came out today with a letter talking about how disappointed he is with what's going on with Nigeria and the potential for missing international competition for the next couple of years, which I would assume means Paris, or could mean Paris. Yeah. Mike's talked about how frustrating it is for him to see after what he did with those guys last summer. How much have you followed it? How bothered are you by what it looks like a very real chance that there might not be Nigerian teams potentially in Paris in a couple years.
Yeah, I didn't see Masai's today, as well as Pops. I don't really look at anything on game day, so I'm kind of locked in there. But I know about it, and I was part of the federation and the team as a player, and was asked to do it as a coach before. So a lot of the same stuff I dealt with as a player, which is disappointing. The growth of the sport in general in Nigeria and the talent level, whether it's abroad or in Nigeria, is vast. And so you have the players and not as much the aspect of coaching that you need over there. I think it starts from there. And, a lot of things you deal with. I try to look at the good that I had at the time, but it was, a lot of unorganization, last minute planning. And so some of these things aren't surprising. And I talked to younger guys who have played in the NBA recently with the Nigerian team, and it sounds like a lot of the same things I went through as a player there. So not a lot has changed, and it is disappointing. It looks for a little bit of restructuring from the top would help.
Vincent on the right.
Ime, Vince Goodwell, Yahoo Sports. You've talked so much about how this team has grown since January, the turnaround and everything else, but have you seen any growth and maturity through the process of the playoffs with so many guys having gone through this the fourth and fifth time? Do you see growth, just in this small sample size?
Yeah, I would say overall, we are young, and I talked about the lack of experience not being a big factor for us because we are battle tested in previous years, and especially this year. 2 elimination games against Milwaukee, and then the Miami situation. So we've been tested well in the playoffs. I think we respond well, and whether our backs to the wall or coming out, and played extremely well on the road. So all those things are signs of growth. And honestly, we have a don't care mentality about it. Whatever happens, happens. Whatever the situation is, we're going to try to play the same. And whether we're up 1, down 1, or up 1 with a chance to go up 2, I think the same mentality that we keep shows growth and progress overall with our team.
Any final question for Coach? Thanks, Coach.